Hello everyone, welcome to the Patches In podcast. I'm your host Hamish and I'm joined by Hugh.
Hi guys.
And Dom.
Hey guys.
You'll notice that this time I never called them good friends because you should know by now we're an establishment now. We've been doing this for a while. That's why these podcasts are such high quality, so good, obviously.
With a franchise.
Yep.
A big ass franchise. Well, next, the only just below us is Joe Rogan in the Fast and the Furious movies.
I mean, they're actually catching up with us on the number of episodes. We'll be doing like 9 next. Ridiculous. And they're going to space. That's just crazy.
Yeah.
They're actually going to space.
Going to Mars?
Oh, yeah. Yep. I mean, what the fuck else is there to do, mate? They've outran a submarine and stuff like that. Like, they've beaten the land in the first ones, they've beaten the sea, and then they beat the sky, like in space and all that shit. It's ridiculous.
I have heard that they'll try to do like a Riddick crossover as well, so Vin Diesel fights Vin Diesel.
You know what? I would actually be so into that. Like, Riddick stuff is awesome. I love it.
Look, just push it. Let's see how far we can push this. Let's see how much investor money we can
waste.
Throw at stuff.
Anyway, I was, before we started this, I was slagging Hugh at not being able to keep the conversation on topic, and we're already talking about Vin Diesel versus Vin Diesel. So anyway, how are you lads? What's new, Hugh? How have you been?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I don't know if I sound better this week, but I bought a laptop to replace the aging warrior that was my PC.
Oh, thank God you said PC, not Sinead.
No. My PC, I actually found that my processor was released in 2012. It's a boy, that processor. It was a AMD FX chip, which was top at the time. Fucking trash now.
That's how time works here, yeah. That's pretty much it.
Look, Hamish, I don't need this for you this week.
So what have you been up to? Apart from just buying laptops?
I bought a laptop. I streamed this week.
Ooh.
Actually, twice. I streamed Ratchet and Clank, and the most annoying thing about streaming Ratchet and Clank is Twitch doesn't allow you to call your stream Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
They think Ratchet is a... Is that how the kids...
Yeah, maybe a ratchet asshole.
Yeah, it's like we wouldn't see it more as like in the UK as a derogatory term, because like Ratchet we'd always say is like broken for it, but in America it's like for prostitutions and that. It's like
a ratchet to me is a fucking
tool.
Aye,
yeah.
Like I don't get this. It's like, just let me call it Ratchet and Clank. It's a very popular game series.
No, they're going to have a big problem with it when the new game comes out and everyone wants to stream it. They'll be like,
that's the daft thing about it. Like, you can't put it in your title, but what's right under your title? The name of the game that you're playing, Ratchet and Clank. So
I do like
hiding it from anyone.
I do like it. You called it Ratchety and Clanky.
Yeah, well, I had to work around the problem, Dom.
Either why, you'll see why.
It's actually really good, that game. It's the 2016 version that came out for the PS4. It got a Ps5 upgrade.
Yep.
Looks brilliant, plays brilliant, like all these upgrades, because that's how upgrades work. But I put about 5 hours in. I think I'm about halfway through. But it just seems to me like the cutscenes are just taken from the film.
I think they are. Like when you were talking about it on stream at Patches In Gaming on Twitch, yeah, I thought that when I was playing it the first time. I'm like, this looks way, way too good to be a Ratchet and Clank cutscene. Cutscene. Yeah, it's like, what's going on here? But it is a soft reboot, isn't it? Because I never played any Ratchet and Clank.
Well, Sinead, my girlfriend who's played them all, said that it looks like a couple of the levels all look the same layout, the same objectives, but obviously it's been fucking upgraded. Like, there's more detail in them, there's a bit more enemies, like...
New coat of paint.
I came for a PS2 game.
That's what upgrades are, yeah.
I know. This has been upgraded several times, Hamish. But it's not completely different for the 2002 version. It's an upgrade, and then I'm playing an upgrade of that upgrade.
Super upgrade.
At this point, we may as well just...
Must be melting your brain, mate, all those upgrades. Like...
I know. Do you ever get that thing where like you look at a game and you're like, oh, they're probably going to release an upgrade for that, so I'll just wait? Like, see, The Witcher 3 was that for me, right? So see, I was going to play it on the One X when I had an Xbox One X, and then they announced they were going to release a Series X and PS5 upgrade, and I was like, well, I may as well just wait on that upgrade. I'm going to be doing this forever. I'm just going to be waiting. Oh, they've just announced that they're just going to upgrade it for the next gen console, so I'm just going to wait to play it then.
Yeah. I'll wait for the Series 1X, S4
Mini.
I don't know. Xbox might just release the Xbox 360 2 next time or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
like we'll just take it back. But
What goes around comes around.
That's the only game I've been playing is Ratchet and Clank. It's really good. I got very frustrated during it because it is very easy right up until certain points of levels where it just becomes super fucking hard for no reason. And I think, see, if it was always that hard, I'd be fine. Like, I'd get through it. But it's because it lulls you into a false sense of security, being so easy all the way through, and then just fucking hits you with that difficulty spike.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to beat that game on stream. I'm going to have a game beaten on stream. Dom's going to have, what, 3?
4.
You beaten on stream? Fuck off, Dom, right? It's too many. Hamish, how many games you beaten on stream?
Mate, you wouldn't know. You don't watch them, so.
I've watched your stream.
You did actually come to mind, to be fair. Yeah. I'm just. Mate, don't challenge me like that, because I'm just going to look for the shortest, shittiest games that are going to make no fun to stream just purely to finish them and be like, scoreboard, Hugh. I've completed 12. And it's like, yeah, but no one watched Hamish. It's like, doesn't matter, still counts.
You should do that, Hamish's shitty game show. Whatever it is, just 50-minute long games off Game Pass, just constantly just completing them. Like, how do you like that one? How do you like this?
Another one.
Talking to nobody.
Another one.
Another one. Aye. Just beat the same game over again, Hamish, over and over again.
Yeah, that counts. So, you've been streaming anything else, Hugh?
Nah, I'm good, man. That's all I've done this week.
Boring. What about you, Dom? What have you been up to?
So I've been.
Wait, on that note, sorry, Dom.
Oh.
I know this is going to be boring, so I need something to guide me through it. Sorry, Dom, continue.
That was actually so mean. I don't know how.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean that.
I know.
I was preoccupied. I was just thinking, like, finish saying something so that I can spark this guy.
So, downloaded the Pac-Man 99 game. That's a lot of fun on the Switch.
That is a lot of fun.
I was like in two minds of it. I was like, they did pretty well with Tetris. They did pretty well with Mario. And it's just Pac-Man, but the same. So I'm like, I wish they did like Metroid, or they did a Legend of Zelda style one. But you know, it's free. You can't complain when it's free.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, you can.
I wasted my time on this. I wasted 40 hours on this. But it's stuff that I've said before about those types of games. It's easy to pick up. It's easy to jump straight into a game. The colours are bright, you know, if you want to keep your attention span going that way.
Hamish is nodding like, yes.
Yeah, you are beer, yeah. I did play a few, like, I was hoping that the Resident Evil announcements were happening, like the announcements for the new Resident Evil game Village. They were saying, they were teasing they were going to have a demo, and I was like, oh, it's going to be tonight. Yeah, I'm going to get able to play it straight away, and it's not till next week. So I got really sad by that. So I was like, oh, what am I going to do now? I had all my hopes and dreams put into that. But I just continued playing a few other games that I downloaded. Some more Mega Man, which has been a lot of fun. Thanks, you again.
You're welcome, mate. I'll get down to playing that never.
There's not been much else like new, but it feels like it's just a lot of waiting for these new games, or I'm going to be waiting till I start streaming again on Monday, because you know that's me now completed Control.
Look at him rubbing it in here.
I know, he's like, that's
more games.
I've completed Control on stream.
Do you know, at least, you know, with the game that I didn't even buy it. You guys bought it and didn't even play it. That's just so
like, Dom, I didn't just buy it once. I also got it for free on PlayStation Now and PlayStation Plus, and free on Xbox Game Pass, right?
Uh-huh.
I have it 3 times.
And you've not played it once.
Yeah, you're making it worse for yourself here.
Shit.
Flex on how many versions of Control I've got.
I mean, you could flex on how many times you bought The Last of Us Part 2. Then you're like, I could have dropped it after 10 minutes. It's like, yeah.
It was that day, like I came home from work and there was like 4 packages at the door, and I was like, what are all these? Turns out it was all the same. It's all the same.
Other than that, when it came to gaming, there wasn't much time this week, unfortunately, for me to play anything else. That's why I think Pac-Man was a good sort of drop and play. Or pick up and play, not drop and play.
Drop
and play, drop and roll.
That's what me and Hugh do with games. You just drop them and never play.
Drop and never play.
Dom, is that what's good about having like a set time for streaming? You actually put aside time for gaming.
Yeah.
Like, see if I didn't have put away time, I'd have probably procrastinated and just sat and fucking did whatever else, like sat and stared into space, like considering how bad life is, to be honest. But like,
Jesus.
Lockdown's nearly finished, mate. I can see it. I can see the light at the end of this tunnel.
Yeah, definitely, man. I completely agree with you. I think it is a bit. You feel compelled to do something, but at the same time, you have so much you can do that you end up just doing nothing, like sitting watching YouTube or just doing nothing like at all.
Listen to podcasts like this one, like
this great podcast that you can get on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and all other places you look for.
Wait, which one? I know you're not talking about our one, so I missed it.
So
that's all right. If people are listening this far, we already got that view. So.
Yeah, we got that hook. We already got that. So
suckers.
I have, but most of my week's been spending watching things. So, Hamish, what have you been spending your week playing?
I've actually played quite a lot this week because I've had my shifts have been a bit weird. I've been like in a day, off a day, in for two, off for one. So I've had quite a bit of spare time. And the weather's been nice, so I've not been spending the entire day playing games. I've been out walking and stuff like that. And then, in your mind, you're like, I deserve to just sit on my ass now and play games. I can justify it now that I've walked for like half an hour. Totally worth it.
I can eat this whole pizza and this beer, drink this like crate of 12 beers, and sit in front of the TV for 6 hours.
Remember that picture of Jason that I edited? He was pointing to the screen and I wrote on it, and it's never a truer word said. If you don't cut the pizza, it only counts as one slice.
Yeah,
that's true. I miss the Jason meme.
What was the bread one?
Like, bread counts as one of your 5 a day. We should start using that on our Instagram and try and get it picked up as an actual meme template.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Like,
and then we can get the listeners, the patchlings, to make their own ones. That'd be funny.
Yeah.
We'll dig them out, yeah.
That'd be good. That'd be really good.
So, a game that I mentioned on your stream, Hugh, because I needed to keep myself entertained somehow. I was telling Dom I played Undertale, and it was basically because you had mentioned it, Dom, last time. It was a possible game that you were thinking of doing, like the pacifist run and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'd looked at it before in the past, and it didn't really look like my kind of thing, to be honest. I think you streamed it as well.
Yeah, I did. I only got halfway, and then lockdown hit, and me and Dom couldn't play it anymore.
Yeah, but I thought I'd give it a wee shot, and I actually ended up really thoroughly enjoying it. The ending, man, like it just hits you. But I really like the kind of the uniqueness of the choices that you can make and stuff like that, and how they do determine things and the different options of doing things. And when I was going through it, I was thinking like there's a lot more to do here. And even before I got to like near the end, I was thinking, right, on my next playthrough, I'll do this instead. I'll do that,
Yeah.
Which was quite cool. That I was already thinking ahead of time. Oh man, I want to try this out different ways.
Have you started it? Yeah. Have you started your second playthrough?
Not my second one yet. No.
Well, see, when you start, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think when you get to Snowdon.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
That's just like a little one. You'll be like, yeah, it's I think I even said it was like one of the best games I've ever played. Like soundtrack, how good is the soundtrack?
Yeah, it's really brilliant. Yeah, I did enjoy that, and that's not usually the kind of thing that I notice in a game. Sometimes, even if it's like a game where obviously it's not like voice acted or anything like that. Sometimes I'll just put on my headphones and listen to music or something like that.
Yeah.
But on this game, I remember you saying specifically that it had a good soundtrack, so I thought, I'll actually give it a shot, and I really, it was brilliant.
I like
Fox do all of it, didn't he? He did the soundtrack and the game.
Yeah, he did the soundtrack, the game. He had some help with a lassie called Temmie, was in it. Right. I don't know if you ran into Temmie in the game, Hamish. It was the dog that said, "Hoi, I'm Temmie," and it's like a wee goofy dog that shakes.
Doesn't ring a bell, to be honest. I don't think.
Yeah, like you can get Temmie armor in the game. That's like it's great. Like it's if you're doing like a pacifist run, it's a good one. I like see because the mini games that you can do when you're not attacking or when you're defending. Like if you're doing a pacifist run, you just use that and just talk your way out of situations. Like Hugh usually does. Usually talks his way out, but usually blames other people as well. He's like, "Wasn't it me? It was Big Jim," and then he runs away.
That ruined me with Undertale straight away because I'd been playing RPGs forever, and like first thing you do is like attack, kill it dead, and then like the game actively punishes you for that a lot of the time, and you're like, oh god, I'm gonna have to fucking talk this out like a human being. This sucks.
To be fair, though, Hugh only talks his way out of it because he can't run.
Oh,
but no, I know what you mean, Hugh. Like, I'll be honest, I killed everything that I saw.
Yeah,
literally just mowed them all down. You know.
So,
and then I noticed like, I'm getting loads of XP. This is clearly the way to do it.
So
no, the game hates you.
So when you were talking to like Papyrus and Sans, like, see when you said it wasn't like voice acted, did you notice like they had like different noises coming out of them? Like you could tell that Papyrus is coming through as like a person that would be speaking quite wah, when Sans is very very...
No, absolutely, yeah. And there was so much personality in every character. You know, it wasn't just that there's these characters are kind of similar to those ones. You know, everyone was individual, which I thought was really cool. You know, very kind of comprehensive backstories and like even just feelings of people that you would get. You know, I was really thoroughly impressed by the whole game. I thought it was brilliant. I'd definitely recommend it.
What did you think of? Did you have any favourite characters like right away that jumped out at you?
Flowey was pretty cool. He was quite funny. just purely with these like obviously the first character that you meet and then that twist, you know.
Yeah,
I thought that was quite funny.
So, just to ask, like, did you take some of the friendliest pedals right away?
Did I take what?
The friendliest pedals. Remember he says like, oh, these things, these are just friendliest.
Oh, right, yeah, the ones to get you. Yeah, I did that.
Yeah, and then it's just.
I took him, but then it was like, then he turned. Yeah. And then I was like, nah, fuck this, I'm not starting like this. And then so I quit it. And then I went back in, and he was like, "You've been here before." And I was like, "You son of a bitch, sneaky motherfucker!"
Called you out, mate. Toby does a really good way of manipulating the game to remember things. So, that's why I'm like, we'll see what happens when you get to Snowden next time. See, you're like, oh, what's going on here?
That's cool. I love that kind of like sneaky shit that they do. Like, see, like in the old Metal Gear Solid, when it would read your save card and stuff like that, and say, "Oh, so you've played this." I just love that kind of shit. I think it's really, really cool.
It breaks the game thing in your head where you're like, oh no, I can just scum this game and win.
Yeah.
The game just goes, no, I know everything. You're like, oh fuck,
I'm a step ahead of you. Yeah. It was very cool.
I do like Undying. I think she's great.
Oh yeah.
Fish Lady. Her music's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I found was cool? See all the battle system where you had to like this wee box and you either had to like dodge things or like it was just a wee mini game.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was cool as fuck. That added so much to the battles.
Such charm.
It wasn't like, you could get used to the one thing and then just, cheese it all the way through, like figure out a way to do it. It always kept you guessing, you know what I mean? Like, right, shit, what am I going to have to do now? It's really quite innovative,
Yeah, it was cool.
A lot of fun. Well, I don't know like if I'll stream it. I'm so tempted to do it, but if we do it, we'll let you know on Instagram when we're going to do it.
It's a 2-sit stream anyway, and it's like 6 hours long, the game, something like that.
I think I ended up on about 360 minutes or something like that. So
yeah, it's not long at all.
That wasn't obviously doing everything that I could. So
yeah, there's a lot of like.
It really depends.
Yeah, there's a lot of sort of like side stuff you can do, or obviously your pacifist and genocide runs and that as well. But I always say when you come into this game, go into it, just play it what you would like to play it as before you start doing all the proper way of playing it to get more of the story. And that's what I did before. I was like, do you know what? Actually, like, hold on, there's 2 ways of playing this game, or there's 3 ways of playing it. But yeah, it's still a lot of fun, not a charm.
Did you get all the achievements, Hamish?
No, because a lot of the achievements, I got all the ones to progress through the game, but a lot of them are in a certain place. Like there's a slot machine or something like that.
A dog coin.
Yeah, but you need to like befriend. Is it Papyrus that you need to be friends with him?
Yeah, I think it is Papyrus.
To get into the room where the machine is, and I killed that motherfucker. So
you heartless motherfucker.
I know.
I love Papyrus as well.
He was a fun character, yeah. There's a lot of humour in it as well. All the wee puzzles that he's trying to make, and then they just keep failing, or they're just shite. And yeah,
I liked the bit with the bridge where he lowers down everything, and there's like the dog. There's just like just tied up, just like what's going on. Fucking love it.
I was highly recommend that. A game that I played that I don't really recommend too much was Borderlands 2 VR. I tried that out.
Oh.
You guys know the Humble Bundle?
Yes.
charity thing. Obviously, I'm such an altruistic and generous man, so I was giving some money to charity, and I just happened to get these games. I didn't just give it so that I could get loads of VR games.
Of course not. Of course not.
But there was a wee bundle, and Borderlands 2 VR was on it, and I think I've played all the Borderlands games, so I thought that sounds fun. I'll give that a shot.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, you can tell that it wasn't made as a VR game. Nice. Apart from the fact that like even the cutscenes in that go back to like a 2D screen, it just doesn't feel. I mean, it's fine. See, if you've not played games that are built from the ground up for VR, then you'll be like, "Oh wow, this is cool." But I don't know, it was just lacking something. It didn't have that refinement that a VR game really needs to immerse you. If you know what I mean?
Yeah, especially if it's made. Was it Borderlands 2? You said as well.
2, yeah.
Being such an older game as well.
Yeah, it's a 360 game. That's never going to look that great, is it?
I mean, if you like Borderlands, it's fun. It's obviously a very kind of action-packed game and stuff like that. So if you're a big fan of the Borderlands series, then fair enough. I finished the first one. I started on the second one, didn't go very far at all, and then I played a bit of the third one. So I'm not like a huge fan or anything like that. Obviously, someone else might be more into it, but as far as VR goes, there's a lot better games you can get.
Yeah.
And just last night, I tried out new game on Game Pass, Rain on Your Parade. Have you guys seen this?
No. Is it?
So basically, you're a cloud, right? Obviously.
Okay, I'm in.
And it's you basically rain on things, people and stuff, and it's very reminiscent to me of Untitled Goose Game. Basically, you get like a wee checklist, and it'll be things like, soak all of the people, avoid soaking these things, or and you get these wee hidden things like filling up fountains and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and it's that same kind of isometric view, that nice kind of bright coloured graphics and stuff like that. So it is very kind of similar to that, and it's just a bit of fun. It's also, it doesn't take itself seriously. It's very tongue in cheek. There's a level where you have like a wee bandana on and stuff like that, and it's basically a Metal Gear Solid parody. So you need to get around to the end of it without like being spotted by any of the guards and stuff like that. So it's just a laugh. It's a easy wee pick up and play one to just waste 20 minutes on. It's
some charm.
Yeah, it's fun enough.
Is that worth a download as well on the Game Pass?
Oh, I'd definitely say so. Yeah, like see when you're kind of what I want to play. Oh, it's too late to play like a big story game or anything like that. Then it's fine. Just fire it on and play for a wee while, and it's simple enough puzzles, but as you go on, they get a wee bit tougher and stuff like that. It's fun. It's a relaxing game, but enough to keep you engaged. It's good.
Yeah, awesome. Nice. Sounds like fun.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. So, what about seeing anything, Dom? Have you watched anything good recently?
I've watched a few things. That's generally what I've had time to do. Like if I've had any time free, I'm like, okay, I'll just stick on something quickly. When I was saying last week about the Falcon Winter Soldier, I was like, do you know what? This is feeling like, it's taking forever to have something interesting happen, or it's just not holding my attention. One of my pals is like, Dom, you need to watch the last episode. I went, I've not even watched episode 3. He's like, no, you need to watch the last couple. All right, fine. So I caught up with that, and now I can say, yeah, it's ramped up quite a lot. So episode 5 dropped today. I've not watched it yet. So as of next week, obviously that'll be all completely wrapped up. And I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, it feels like this should have been a movie. It really does feel like a lot of it's sort of drawn out for no reason, and it would have fitted better as a Marvel-esque movie. Maybe 2 hours and you'd been fine with it. Just cut all the sort of like filler out. But I've been enjoying that. Me and Angie have been just because we watched like WandaVision, and we had that same feeling. I'm like, this doesn't feel right. But then after episode 2. Like episode 3 onwards, you're like, okay, now I'm in. This makes sense. That's a lot better. So waiting for that to wrap up next week. Watching Invincible, the Amazon's comic book adaptation. That's really fun. That is basically a comic book version of The Boys. I think Hugh, you may have mentioned that not last week, but the week before. Yeah,
I saw a clip of like a part that I hadn't seen, and it was fucking insanity. I was just going through, Facebook videos. Sometimes it just plays like clips of things, and it came up, and like I hadn't seen that far into it, and I think it's probably ruined a bit for me. But like, I was like, how the fuck Like, how does it get to that point?
I'm assuming. I think I know what part it was because they started sharing it because it's been out for a wee while now. That was only episode 1. If it's the bit I'm thinking of where it's just like complete bloodshed, like an absolute massacre, you're like, wait, what?
And getting off to a wild start.
Yeah,
I've seen.
Is it like? Hold on, we might need to see a spoiler a bit here. Spoiler. Is it the main hero destroying everyone in the Justice League?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's in the first episode.
Fucking hell! I was trying to make it that I'd actually watched it as well.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's pretty intense because you sit and you wonder, like, you know, they even say, hold on, he's this must be some sort of mind control because he wouldn't do this. But yeah, episode 1, and then the rest of the series is trying to deal with like that, like what happened.
Like, why did he do it?
Yeah, like what is that? But J.K. Simmons is fucking great in it. Like, it's weird because I think he comes across as a very, you know, Clark Kent Superman, but there's some moments that you can see that you're like, that's not right. That's Homelander, very, you know, unhinged. But the way that he looks at it is like, well, we're not human, so
yeah.
And you're like, right, he's that kind of character.
Yeah.
He's that guy.
Yeah.
There's a big thing in media, in all media right now, where Superman is portrayed like, what if he went bad? It's almost in every fucking like alternative comic book take. Like, what if Superman wasn't on our side? And I get it, like that's an interesting take, but like it annoys me when they do it to actual Superman. Like, they're going to do it in the Justice League game. They've done it in both of the fucking Injustice games. They kind of tried to do that in Batman vs Superman and stuff like that. It just annoys me. Just give me wholesome, lovely Superman.
We've had like 80 years of that, mate.
Yeah.
I want more Hamish.
What I would say as well is like the voice acting for this series is great because like they've got like a big cast of people, like a huge cast. Obviously J.K. Simmons being, you know, Omni-Man being the dad. Steven Yeun, who's been like, I'm sure he was in The Walking Dead. I think when we were talking about this the last time.
Yeah.
He's playing Mark or Invincible. But the last couple of episodes they've had have been, they sort of ramped up the intensity of like what makes a true hero. What is, you know, you can fight off a comet, aye, sure, but you don't give a shit about the little people down here that are dealing with like crime. Or like there's mob bosses that are going about, you know, causing arson, kicking people at their houses, not caring if people are in there, and claiming insurance money, and you know, all this sort of seedy undertone like drugs, and how these how people are supposed to deal with that with superheroes floating about or supervillains.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Let's see, like Alan Moore and stuff like that tried to talk about in the 80s about how superheroes kind of take care of things that like are important, but then they never really deal with people's actual lives.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get street level superheroes as well, but like a lot of people don't care about Superman because it doesn't affect their daily life, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
I mean, some writers have done really well for that kind of thing. I can't remember the issue or the run it was in, but I remember a comic, and there was like basically a suicide jumper up on the roof, and Superman went up and he was talking to him, and you know, the guy was like, "Oh, don't stop me. I know you can just grab me." And he was like, "I'm not going to do that. If you want to walk off, you can walk off." But he just kind of stood and talked to him and gave him like his number and stuff like that. And then, you know, they talked for a while and said, "If you ever need me just to talk or for anything at all, just phone me, and I guarantee you whatever I'm doing, I'll come and I'll be there for you." And then like later on, he was like fighting, I can't remember who, but this pure massive ridiculous fight. And his phone goes, and he's like, "I need to go," and he zooms off like a speeding bullet just to sit and talk to this guy. So, but I mean,
that's very irresponsible.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have a lot of faith in the rest of the Justice League to be like, "Are you sure you guys have got this?" Like, really?
Well, they did that like a parody with Deadpool. I don't know if you've seen that parody. It's him doing that.
I don't think so, no.
Where it's basically him doing the same sort of scenario. It's a lassie that's about to jump off, and he's feel like, do it, it'll be funny. And she's like, "What? I'm not supposed to say that." And he's like, you know, whatever. Here, let's go and see that.
Do a flip.
Let's go and see Hamilton. And she's like, "Oh, you can't get tickets for Hamilton. It's sold out." And then it cuts them in like a booth, and he's knocked out 2 people. And they're sitting there. He's like, "We can't be here." He's like, you know, whatever. So he said people are assholes anyway. So they just go about like dicking about, and she's like, you know, she's feeling a bit better about the whole situation. Then the last part of the panel is Deadpool in his bike, dropping her off at the hospital, saying like, "Look, I am in no way, shape, or form, I'll be able to help you with this, what you're going through, but the people in there, they'll be able to help you. It's just, well, what happens if I don't want help?" He's like, I'm not going to make that decision for you, but if you want, I'll walk in with you. And it's like, you're like, oh, that's a...
Yeah, wholesome Deadpool.
Yeah. And, so I know exactly what... it's a parody on Marvel's part, but it's still, same sort of message, but a bit more tongue-in-cheek for it.
Yeah.
But I would say, one of my favourite parts of Invincible is the soundtrack. I feel like it's like a lot of new music that I've never heard, like, as well.
What kind of style is it? Like, is it...
So they had like Cage the Elephant. They've had like a bunch of like rappers coming in. Vampire Weekend are in it. There's a few tracks I'm like, holy shit, this is fucking brilliant. But they use it really well because it's generally on the intro of the episode, and they always cut before they say the first time they say Invincible as well. So they'll be talking and says like, "Oh man, see if you take all these drugs, you're going to be," and then it cuts to the title card, Invincible.
Oh, right, okay.
And then more progressive, more through the series, the title card gets more covered in blood and more covered in blood. So it's like, all right, I see what they're trying to do here. It's subtle, but it's fun.
I think I need to give this a shot, mate. It sounds really good.
Yeah,
I'm going to watch it tonight, actually, after this podcast.
Yeah, there's a few shout-outs I want to say, like Seth Rogen is a producer of this as well. He has a wee cameo as like an alien, which is pretty cool.
You can't shout out people on this podcast unless they're going to shout us out back.
Seth Rogen and me are good pals.
You and Seth go way back.
There's a great moment with J.K. Simmons and Mark Hamill, where it's like Mark Hamill plays he plays like I wouldn't say seamstress. What are the people that make the costumes? Basically he makes all the superhero costumes. He's a tailor. That's what it is. I was about to say, like, seamstress. A seamstress is like someone that stitches. He makes all their costumes, so he like sort of designs Invincible's one, Omni-Man's one, and there's a great scene with the two of them on a rooftop having some brewskis. But yeah, it's
sparking some cans.
I've also been watching the Harley Quinn TV series. I don't know if any of you have watched that.
Mate. Yeah, I've seen it all, but I actually started watching like a couple of episodes again recently.
Yeah, that shit is funny. Like, it's good. Really good.
Yeah.
Batman especially. Like, there's been bits I'm like, wow, they've actually like brought a bit more humour to Batman. And Bane's been brilliant.
Bane's hilarious, man.
Very surprised that is it Katie? What's her name?
Kaylee Cuoco.
Yeah, Lassie from
Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, she plays Harley fucking great. I was like, a lot of people were having issues with her at first because it's like, she won't be able to do that. She's not allowed to do that. And you're like, what do you mean she's not allowed to do it? Like, she's a fucking actress or actor.
A lot of fanboys are like, Harley Quinn comes from Boston, and they had the same issue with like Margot Robbie. It's like, not doing that like classic Boston accent. Like, is it Boston?
Get your garbage car. Yeah.
It's like is it not New Jersey?
Is it Jersey?
Whatever accent she'd like kind of historically had for a while. Margot Robbie got the same treatment. Like, she's not doing the voice. It's not Harley Quinn, and it's like, shut the fuck up. There's different interpretations.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kaylee Cuoco does a great job. I think it's just, I don't know, as far as I'm aware, that she's done any other voice acting. She might have done, but I'm too lazy to check IMDb. So I'm just going to say that she's not, and she's doing a good job. Yeah,
her and Poison Ivy are great together. Really play off each other well. I don't know who they've got to play as Joker, but he's doing a really good voice as well. I think it might be the one guy, because I'm sure it's like he's doing like a bunch of people, because you're like, that kind of sounds a bit like Joker, but a slightly different. But yeah, there's a clip that's been going about that's, I think Hugh, you may have quoted it as well, where it's Scarecrow and Joker, and they basically unmask Batman, and it's Bruce Wayne, and he's like, that is the whole fun's going out it. And then after, I think he kills Scarecrow, and he turns around and goes like that, I put a pre-order down for my electric car 5 years ago. Where's my goddamn electric car, Bruce?
It's Alan Tudyk.
Alan Tudyk,
but he does like Clayface as well on Calendar, and he does a bunch of different ones in it.
So that's like he's the pirate in Dodgeball. He's he's in this. He's in Firefly. Yeah.
The first one that you go to.
Yep. Always remember.
Is that Steve the Pirate?
Yeah, Steve the Pirate.
He's my favourite dodgeball character.
Yeah, so
it's when he gets really sad when someone points out that he's not a real pirate. And you're
Yar.
like, obviously.
Yeah, but he's
The
brilliant in Firefly.
The robot in Rogue One as well.
Yeah, he is. He is. He's been like, it's so crazy. They think like, but
More importantly,
But more importantly,
he's the pirate in dodgeball.
but no, he's also.
You got it straight away, though.
Have
you
you
got it straight away?
Have you seen Tucker and Dale versus Evil?
Yes.
Yeah, that's all right,
yeah.
Really
So he's
funny.
Tucker. He's Tucker as well.
Yeah.
Okay, and the last thing that I've seen has been Tropic Thunder. I rewatched that with Angie.
I haven't seen that since it was out in the cinema.
Holy shit, that movie still holds up.
Mate, it does better than Hold Up. I think it's honestly one of the most underrated comedies ever made. Like,
you know what totally surprised me about that film? Tom Cruise. I didn't really think that he had like comedy acting chops before that, and I was like, he was actually one of the funniest parts of the film.
Yeah,
he takes himself too seriously outside of films for you to think he's funny. But like just the stupidity of every character makes me laugh. Like the Ben Stiller's character just being ridiculously like thinking he's like amazing, and then Robert Downey Jr.'s character being so up his own arse.
Yeah, he's hilarious in it.
It's Jack Black's coke addict fucking character.
Just all about opium, and like it's wild, man. Like, so I remember when this movie first came out that there was like an MTV skit that happened with Jack Black, Robert Downey Jr. and Ben Stiller trying to promote the movie, and this movie came out just before Iron Man came out, and also before Kung Fu Panda came out. So Ben Stiller was like, "Oh, we'll just have this amalgamation of like." So on the poster it has Black, Stiller, Robert Downey Jr. So they replaced Jack Black with the Panda, and Robert Downey Jr. with the Iron Man. And it's like the start of the video is just Robert Downey Jr. reading a paper. It says Iron Man breaks millions of records, because again he's just like, yeah, okay, yeah. Because this was like Tropic Thunder was like basically I think it must have been his first major hit since coming back, because like they even make a joke about his past in the MTV video. So, you mad drug addict who runs about and all that, and he's fighting up with
Iron Man, no?
When was Kiss Kiss Bang Bang?
Oh, that was ages ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was
before. Was that before? Like, was that well before Iron Man?
That was 2005. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang was
well before.
I thought that was his comeback film. Shane Black.
Well, it made millions. Iron Man.
Yeah, I know. Iron Man was his big 2005. You're talking. Hey, this made millions.
Tropic Thunder was 2008.
Yeah, same.
I'm rhyming these off the top of my head, obviously. I'm not good at Google at all.
But yeah, like, you forget how many like actors were in that as well. Danny McBride was the explosive guy.
Yeah, he's brilliant in that film.
He wasn't really, at least to me, I didn't know who that was. So when I must have saw that at the time, I didn't think, there's Danny McBride. It wasn't until later on that I thought, but I knew who he was, if you know what I mean. Yeah,
Steve Coogan being there as the director, obviously, as well.
I don't like him. Crap.
Wow.
You don't just like my Steve opinion, Coogan? Guys. Move on. It's fine.
You don't like Steve Coogan?
Nah, he's not funny at all. He's like that. Who's that other one?
You?
No. Oh wait, no. Is it? Does Steve Coogan not play like a character?
Several.
Yeah, no shit. I know that. Right?
Are you thinking Alan Partridge?
Alan Partridge, yeah.
Yeah. He plays Alan Partridge.
Is that the same? That's the same guy? Yeah, I hate him. Yeah.
The funniest thing Steve Coogan ever did was sing "Come Out You Black and Tans" on BBC.
That was Alan Partridge one, yeah.
Did he just sing it a little bit?
Yeah.
He fucking gave it everything.
Yeah, he's got a great Irish accent as well, man. He's really good at it.
It's so good, man. He's so funny.
Bill Hader was in it as well.
Bill Hader, yeah.
Yeah, he was Tom Cruise's assistant.
Yeah, another one I didn't know until like you see him and everything later on. He's in like Hot Tub Time Machine and stuff like that.
Yeah, Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, Matthew McConaughey,
legend, mate.
Yeah, and I'm like, Jesus, there's so fucking many people are just in this one movie. And Ben Stiller basically writing, directing, fucking everything for it as well.
Was it the last great Ben Spiller? Ben
Spiller.
Last great Ben Stiller movie?
Probably, I would say. Yeah, I don't think of anything off the top of my head that I'm like, he's he's directed a better movie than that.
Maybe she's like Along Came Polly.
Oh yeah, that was good. Was that after that?
I think it
must have been.
It was before that.
I think it was after it.
Wasn't Dodgeball after it?
No, well, no, I'm sure he didn't direct it. I think he wrote it, but he didn't direct it. Because
I don't even think it was for it, to be fair.
Yeah.
One quick Google search will sort this all for us.
No, it's better speculating, Hugh.
I think about this fairly often when we are talking about things that we clearly have no idea about. Is I wonder how many people are listening to our podcast. Well, I know that number's low, but I wonder how many of those people that listen to our podcast are sitting thinking, no, you're wrong, idiots. You don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. Actually, it's this.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, no, that was out first. But
Right, since 2008's Tropic Thunder, he's been in Madagascar, Night of the Museum, Megamind, Little Fockers, Madagascar 3, The Watch. You remember The Watch? That had Richard Ayoade in it as well.
Oh yeah, I had I was about to say Ryan Reynolds. What's his name? Vince Vaughn. I don't know. I got the two names mixed up, but yeah.
The Secret.
close enough, mate. They look identical.
The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. That's I quite like that.
Yeah, that was alright. Yeah,
Yeah, he directed that. Yeah.
It's a weird one, but yeah.
Zoolander 2.
Ugh.
Zoolander, mate.
Zoolander.
Nah.
I don't really know the other films at all.
Yeah,
But yeah,
anyway, we're not here
yeah.
to dictate IMDb anyway.
Yeah.
So.
yeah. But Tropic Thunder, what a movie. If you've not seen it in a while, rewatch it. It's great. Me and Angie had a great laugh. And she was saying to me that was like one of her favourite movies, and I could honestly see why. Like, see when they have when you sort of watch the movie, because I've not seen that movie in forever. I think the last time I did see it was maybe about 6-7 years ago when I was drunk. And you just remember, you're like, oh, I remember watching it at cinema, it was funny, and you're like, but the way that everything sort of, it feels like it's like an American Hot Fuzz. I know that's like a weird way to sort of compare it to it, but the flow of the movie from start all the way to end is basically a shot-for-shot intro at the end, but it's done like, the characters have went through that growth, they've learned a lot, even though they're a bunch of idiots, he's got his TiVo. He got his TiVo. But you know what I mean? Like, all the everything that happened in the movie had like a purpose, and it kind of, it made, it had an impact, it had a joke, it landed, it made sense. Nothing was sort of left on the cutting room floor. So, and just everyone played their part well. Everyone just did. Like Robert Downey Jr., I know, is like great actor. Jack Black, Jack Black's Jack Black, and Ben Stiller just,
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, like.
Do you think they could make that film now?
Yeah, definitely. Like when people,
you can't do blackface now.
They make a point in that in the movie as well. Like it says the controversial, pigmentation that they did for this role, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't get a character until I get to the DVD commentary." It's like,
have you guys seen those? Like it's just a Twitter thing, and then someone said, if you had to cast a black person as Iron Man, who would you choose? And then someone says Robert Downey Jr. with a picture of him in that.
But yeah, that's all I watched, man. As you can see, there was a lot more I watched than I played this week.
Yeah, what about you, Hugh?
This week I had obviously been a bit busy, but there's only one show I've watched, and it's because Sinead's been watching it, and I'm not going to say it's good, but it's like addicting reality TV.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever seen Below Deck?
No, never heard of it.
What the hell is Below Deck?
It's like a big.
We have standards, Hugh, so we've never heard of it.
Is it below a guy that works with Ant and Dec?
Jesus, Tom, that was terrible. That was a Hamish joke.
Zing.
It's about a big yacht that you can rent out, and it follows like the crew, and like it's like a reality show. Like,
how big is this yacht?
It's a pretty big fucking yacht.
How many feet? What's the feetage? Yeah,
he needs to know these answers. Tell him.
40,000.
Nice.
40,000 feetage.
Feetage. How many
That's a
feels you?
technical term, though. I mean,
How many
landlubbers wouldn't know it.
Land. Do you know the thing is, right? It is trash. It is trash TV. But like, I don't want to stop watching it. Sometimes when Sinead's watching it, she's like, "Do you want me to turn it off?" I said, "No, it's okay."
Sit down.
I'm sorry, Hugh, but I distinctly remember you getting quite into Geordie Shore, so this isn't your first offence on the reality TV show.
Mate, sometimes I just give up like the
Will to Live.
Watching something serious. I just want to watch something that like I can just turn off
Yeah,
and
switch
just
off,
watch
yeah.
it. And like watching these idiots run a boat and like get drunk and like shag each other and whatever, like you're like, oh, whatever, like this is fun.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't want to think, Hamish. I'm thinking too much as it is, right?
Yeah. All I think when I watch those is just, what a bunch of bastards. Like, just in like a, I don't know, there is definitely something to reality TV. Like, I think it's comforting to people.
Do you think it's jealousy as well? Because you're like, I wish, like, I could do that. I could act stupid. I could act the fool and get all this money and be on a yacht.
Nah, I'm not jealous, Tom, because I could do that. I'm a fool. I can get drunk easily.
So where's your yacht? Where is your Netflix TV series, Hamish?
Well, unfortunately, I do have a yacht, but it's only 39,000 feetage, so you know it's not quite as big.
I don't know if feetage is the technical term.
So I have actually looked it up. It is over 100 feet long. That's a lot of feetage.
That's feetage up the yin yang, mate.
I'm not sure where he's going with this.
I have no idea where he's going.
I'm gone. I'm done.
But yeah, like, yeah, I can understand. Like it's like it is trash TV, but at the same time, it's you know, it's
my palate cleanser.
Yeah.
Between all this like high level ideas that I've got,
yeah,
like I need a palate cleanser, something
This
stupid.
high level ideas.
Yeah, like
give me a high level idea, Hugh.
Go. And then make sure you trademark it because Hamish will steal it and then buy a yacht with it.
And also, you're against the clock because I'm not going to cut any of this, right?
That's not very nice.
Self-sparking cans.
Nah, that's part of the fun, is sparking your own can, mate.
Look, sometimes you just don't have the dexterity in your fingers to do one-handed sparks, like a classic one-handed spark, or you're holding something like a remote or something in one hand, and you just maybe you're playing an Xbox game and you're just like, I wish that can would spark itself. And boom, sparks itself. You go, okay, tenants.
Of all the beers to pick, Hugh, this is where you lost me. You had me up until tenants.
We're keeping it local, bro.
Yeah.
Keeping it local.
Keep it in Scotland.
Right. So you go, okay, tenants, spark it, and it goes.
Your can has been sparked.
If it's a Scottish beer, at least it'll understand a Scottish accent, like Alexa and Echo and all that shit.
Yeah, none of that. I like that. There you go, Hamish.
Fucked you there, didn't I, Hamish?
Hold on, I just need to take a quick break, guys, while I trademark something completely unrelated. Patent pending. You been watching anything else, Hugh?
No, I, between like all the other commitments I've had this week, Below Deck has been my only venture on TV.
So when you say it's a palate cleanser, but it's the only thing that you've watched?
I'm cleansing my palate deeply, Hamish, before I go on to the next show.
Okay.
Which is going to be Invincible.
Good man.
Yeah, I think you've sold me as well, man. And I might even watch Tropic Thunder again. You're really good at it. Like, you should do adverts.
I should do a podcast, right?
No, you're bad at them. But...
Oh yeah, okay. Sometimes I can't get the words out. What about you, Hamish? What have you been up to, man? Have you been seeing anything new?
You know what? I've not actually been really watching anything, just because I've been spending most of my time playing games. I'm bad for switching between. Like, well, no, actually, that's not true. Hugh got me in the mood to watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine when he was talking about it last week.
Yeah.
So I was rewatching that, but nothing to add. We all know it's hilarious. Captain Holt is the best.
And Wario cheats.
Wario cheats, mate. It's easy. It's easy to beat him. You just press.
Mate, you know my favourite joke in that whole show is that Boyle thinks he's musclier and bigger than Terry Crews.
Yeah. You said that the last time. I was like, I don't remember that part. Then I watched it on YouTube and I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, he does say that.
it's like Terry's like, oh, Boyle, I think me and you lift different weights in the gym. He's like, it's only numbers, Terry. You'll get there eventually. You know what I mean?
I prefer when Captain Holt is like saying something ridiculously like intelligent and refined that no one else gets or Jake doesn't get. Like when they're at the party and he's trying to act drunk and make a scene, and at first he's like, "Is it hot in here? Anyone else hot?" And it's like, "What was that?" It's like, well, I raised my voice 9% like drunk people do, and I mentioned the warmer temperature like when you get drunk. And then the next time he's like, he's got a glass of wine. And then the guy comes round and he's like, "Oh, crab cake, yes, I will." And then he's like, "What was that?" And he's like, "I paired a crab cake with a Cote du Rhone." Just so ridiculous, man. He's definitely the funniest character.
Yeah.
But no, I've not seen anything else apart from that. So I believe it's time, guys. Dom, can you do your wee news thing?
Okay. But before we do the news thing, do you want to say what we launched with on all our social platforms?
That's news.
That is news.
In there.
Okay.
I made an ad.
Yeah, is that new? That's part of the new stuff because it's very new and exciting these days in Patches and Land, isn't it, lads?
Yeah. All the patch ones coming over, seeing what we've been, a fresh coat of paint does to the sites. It's pretty sweet, isn't it?
Absolutely. The extremely talented friend of the podcast, girlfriend of one member of the podcast.
Oh, stop.
Angie. And Tom, what's her Instagram handle in case?
It's andrewsteak.graphique, which is like, if you go onto our Instagram page and click on the new logos and format that we came out with, our Instagram handle's there. You just click on, ask her for, if you do like our artwork, ask her and she'll see what she can do some commission work for you.
Yep, we got new artwork for, all of our socials and stuff like that. What's our socials, Hugh, so people can see this wonderful new artwork we have?
On Instagram, it's patchesinofficial.
Mm-hmm.
And Twitch, it's twitch.tv/patchesingaming.
Ooh.
And on Twitter, it's @patchesin. Why we didn't make them all the same? I don't know.
No, we did.
We talked about this last time. It's your fault.
Yeah, it was your fault. You fucked up.
Yep.
How was it my fault?
You said this last week.
Yeah. You changed something and it fucked everything up, and we were like, we can't go back.
How drunk was I last time?
Pretty drunk, yeah.
You're drunk enough to admit the truth that you fucked up.
No, I should never do that. If I say it once, she'll just consistently remind me.
But it looks great. So she did a really fantastic job. And if you are interested in getting artwork in the style of that, or completely different style, she's really talented. So have a wee follow over on Instagram.
Absolutely, and she also the genius behind the term patchlings for our fans.
She was coined that phrase.
She's slowly taking over, Dom. She's taking over the podcast.
We're just going to kick Dom out and invite her in.
We're going to work for her eventually, aren't we?
Oh dear.
You boys better be putting out a podcast. We're like, okay, Angie.
But yes, so I'd say that's personally, I think that's the most exciting news that we have. But I do have some other interesting things. Well, we'll see if they're interesting. Twitch has been cracking down on the Viewbots. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
Have you noticed our 5 viewers going down to 3? And it's not because it's only you that's been streaming.
We don't use Viewbots, Hamish. You know that.
No, we don't have the money to pay them.
Hey man, at least you're honest.
Yeah, so basically they are getting a bit stricter and disabling all these accounts and stuff like that. And pretty high-profile streamers like us have noticed the big hit in the views and that. Some have lost literally millions of subscribers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're not really subscribers, but I don't know. Why would you? What's the benefit in paying for that? I mean, I suppose you look a bit more popular, but
you go higher on the list on Twitch.
Yeah.
If you go into a game, say it's say Ratchet and Clank, say, and you're top of the list, say, with 1,000 viewers, people are more likely to click on you.
Yeah,
but where's the integrity in that, Hugh? We have integrity and honesty in our stream, don't we? So there's also been some Ps5 updates. I mean, I didn't really want to include this because it only affects Hugh, but I thought maybe some listeners that Oh, do you have a PS5, Tom?
Yeah, I've got a PS5.
Yeah. Oh, well, that just ruins that then. Have you guys noticed? Have you noticed, see your updates and stuff like that? They can pre-download, which I'm sorry, that's a great idea. My one gripe of the PlayStation over the years was every time I went to play it, and fair enough, that's because I didn't play it very often. But every time I went to play it, it was like, "Oh, this game needs an update," So
it's so frustrating. I have noticed, I've seen a few people talk about it since the update happened as well. Hugh, you've got the disc version as well, PS5?
Yeah, I do.
I don't know if you've noticed it either, but I did. Because a lot of people have been talking that they've noticed that the disc drive's a lot quieter.
Yeah, a lot of people have been saying that. Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, let me just test that out. And yeah, lo and behold, like when I put a game in, it doesn't sound like it's about to take off.
Yeah,
I was like, hey.
I haven't noticed it isn't doing it right, but see when I was playing long stretches of Ghost of Tsushima, Hamish, I said it. I would notice like every now and again that this drive would just fucking fire up as fast as it could go. Stop reacting to that, Dom. And I would be like, what the fuck's wrong with it? And then like, obviously it would die down and it'd be like an hour later and then it would do it again.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that fucks off because it was very annoying.
Maybe the PS5 scared the bears as well, mate. And anytime a bear came out, I was like, ah!
I like that.
See, anytime I saw a bear in Ghost of Tsushima, I would like stay on the horse and shoot it from far away. And then, like, when I killed it, I'd like run up and I'd be
teabag
like, is it really dead? Is it really dead?
Was that a
poke watch with you?
Poke with a stick button, just to make sure.
Like there's parts of that game though, right? One little anecdote where you'll be like, "What's going on over there?" You'll just see a body fly up in the air, and it's two bad guys fighting a bear.
Oh, so it's like Skyrim Giants. It just
Yeah.
hits you once and you just go flying for miles away.
Yeah, it's crazy, mate.
I mean, see if bears could actually do that, I'd understand your fear, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the fear's about. It's not about the ton of
Eating your face or anything like that, you know,
aye,
while
aye.
you're alive.
Aye, that stuff.
So you also get USB storage as well.
Yeah, expandable storage. I actually was checking up to see what was the best SSD you could go for. They've been saying a lot of like the Samsung is the best one to go for at the moment, but they're saying that Seagate 5 terabytes a decent one as well. They've been running off like a few, but generally when you go higher on an HDD one for it just for space, you're not going to get the best speeds.
Yeah.
That's why the solid state's a lot better. But yeah, solid states at the moment because of there's been a lot of shortages with like computing stuff. You know, as you said, with like you got a laptop instead of like a PC because it was just the quickest way to get something.
Yeah.
Like just as a fix now. But you'll obviously go and get a PC like eventually. But it's getting those parts made. They take time.
Yeah.
And they're a lot of money. So, yeah, I'll be trying to grab like a solid state, hopefully, for like, there's a bunch of games that I want to just keep on the PlayStation 5. Like the Final Fantasy 7 update will be happening soon. And I think that's going to be like a big chunk. It was at 100 gig on the PS4. So,
yeah. See, the thing is, it's going to be used as a quick swap. So, you'll want to play games off of the internal drive. Mm-hmm. So, like, you'll just keep the game on the external drive, and then when you want to play it, you'll move it into the internal.
Mm-hmm. But like, can that not damage your SSD if you're doing that?
No. It's just moving data.
Just moving.
So like, no matter what drive you get, it'll never be as fast as the internal drive, because the internal drive is a NVMe drive, which is leagues and leagues ahead of SATA. So like, your USB SATA drive will be slow as shit compared to the NVMe. So what you want to do is just keep the games that you kind of don't want to re-download if your internet speeds are shit, and just switch them out.
Because it's much quicker to move it than re-download it. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
But you know what I don't have a PS5, but you know what I think is probably going to be the best feature of this PS5 update, Hugh?
What's that, mate?
You can adjust volumes of specific people. Something that I'm so glad. Like the one good thing about us having to do podcasts over Discord is I can turn you down, motherfucker.
Do you know what, Hamish? You can turn me down all you want, but I will always tell you the truth. You can turn that down all you want, mate, but it's always going to be the truth.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to hear it if you're turned all the way down, mate. So.
Oh, you'll hear it because Dom will put it in the podcast.
Wait, why am I putting the podcast? You're doing the editing.
You're the editor, Dom.
I'm the editor.
He changes it when he wants to, mate. He was like, "Oh, I'll edit if you want," and now it's oh no, you're the editor,
No, you need to edit. I can't do it. I'm busy.
I'm busy.
Busy selling out.
Mate, see if I had the chance to sell out. See if I had the chance to sell out, I'd fucking sell out. I'd sell out in 2 minutes.
I know you would to get a Man U fan. Of course you would.
I'd be sitting here, see how I'm always like the Hamish, oh, you're a Microsoft fanboy. If fucking Bill Gates himself phoned me and says, like, I'll give you £20 to wear an Xbox shirt on your podcast and just talk shit about PlayStation, I'd be like, sold!
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
£20, you say?
Only £20.
I could buy a few games and never play them with that money.
You're fucking goddamn right.
That's good, Hamish. I like that.
So, have you guys been keeping up with the farce that is Hugh's podcasting skills? No, I'm kidding. Outriders.
No, I haven't.
No.
So
I fell away from it, mate, because
I didn't even know you were near it.
I downloaded it and I started it and it was a pain in the arse. So I was like, this has got me out already. This has been too much of a pain in the arse. I'm out.
Yeah.
I booted it back up for a hot minute, and then I watched Angry Joe did a video about it, and he was telling about his frustration. But we had it on Game Pass. Thankfully, we didn't spend any money on it. But he was like, all the boys had to play it on PC, and it was nothing but fucking. Like, I thought it was bad on the Xbox, but holy shit, it was a fucking state on the PC, really bad. So I've kind of went, I've kind of lost interest. I think when we were talking about it last time, it was like, this might be a game that will have like patches later on that might make it more sustainable. But for now, nah, I haven't. What about yourself, man? Have you had to be tinker about with it, or have you had a bit more enjoyment from it?
Well, I played it briefly, I think I mentioned last time, but I've not been on since, and to be honest, I'm quite glad, because I don't think you guys heard, but basically there was, for a lot of people, a massive inventory wipe. So people that had been playing it from the start just lost everything.
Oh,
Heck, man.
And I think, you know, for the most part, they've got it back now. But that's not even all of it. There was also, it's meant to be a cross-play game, PC, PlayStation, Xbox. Yeah. Even on the beta demo, even though it was in beta, cross-play, for the most part, went without a hitch. But then the other day, there was I think it was 11 days worth of time that crossplay just wasn't working, and fair enough, that might not matter to a lot of people, but if there's friends that are playing on different platforms, then that's 11 days they weren't able to play with their mates, you know what I mean? It just seems to be problem after problem so far.
Yeah. Damn, man. Fucking, that's a shame, but they kind of done it to themselves as well, like, that you can only do so much with like a bad game or a badly running game. Like, they released it, and if like, you know, they deserve all the adulation when they've like, you know, succeed. They deserve all the praise and all the 10 out of 10 awards. But if they fuck up like this badly, and like everything was working beforehand for crossplay, and suddenly release it and it just everything ballsed up for like nearly 2 weeks. That's not a good sign. Your player base will just drop off, and they'll go either back to Destiny or find something else to play.
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't think we're that surprised, are we? We kind of knew that Outriders was a bit janky.
What did I tell you? You always wait until the first expansion, until they figure the shit out. Like, early adopters are always going to get hit hard with these type of online loot shooter type things.
Yeah, we should never early adopt. Never buy a PlayStation 5. Don't buy any of the first consoles.
Yep.
And do you know what? we all, yeah. When it comes to games, it's like you can't be as you want to be quite forgiving to people, because you understand how hard it is to make games, but at the same time you do have to call out bullshit like this. Same way we were calling bullshit out for the Avengers games, for Cyberpunk. You have to keep calling it out, because you don't want people to get away with this. You don't want companies to think it's okay to release games like this, but at the same time, you don't want to be wasting your time.
Whoa, Tom. You've just insulted half of Hamish's favourite games there.
Just only half?
Yeah.
Well, the other two are like fucking...
Undertale.
Hey, it's getting up there now, you know.
I think another bad game you like The Division or something.
Mate, you played that more than I did.
I played it for 15 minutes.
Exactly.
I played it for more than 15 minutes, but see, when I was playing it, and I was like, I'm really bored. I'm going to go play something else. And everyone was like, why are you not happy with shooting this guy 500 times? I'm like, because this is shit. Like, it was just so bored, man. It was just Ubisoft.
Ubi going to Ubi, yo.
I thought I had a better story there as well, by the way, Hamish.
Yeah, that went really well. That's so exciting. Thank you, Hugh. So some some news that I know at least Dom and myself will get excited for. Resident Evil 4. Dom, what's happening with Resident Evil 4?
So, I think this was at the tail end of the Resident Evil Village presentation they were doing. They were just showing off the frame rates and all the fun stuff that's going to be coming to the Resident Evil Village game. That Resident Evil 4 is back again on a new thing. It's never going to die. It's like the most ported thing. I think it's up there with Skyrim now. It's got to be.
I think it's more than Skyrim, isn't it?
It's got to be. Now, so it's now going to be on the Oculus 2 exclusive. So that's Facebook's VR machine. What you have, Hamish?
That's the one, yep.
So it is. I don't like. They kind of went into detail. I think it is the full game that is going to be put into first person. So hopefully, when it comes to cutscenes and that, they don't sort of take away like a jarring sort of like cinema screen mode for that. But it looks like a lot of fun. The inventory comes up, and you can move your stuff about and grab things. You can type on the typewriter, and I'm like, okay, like so it's a bit intuitive that way. So you can use your. You were saying same with the upgrade that came that you could actually use your hands this time.
Yeah.
So maybe they've implemented that part into it. So yeah, it sounds like it'd be a lot of fun. But again, it's always we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see.
How do you do the kick?
You don't kick? How do you jump through a window in VR?
You jump through the window, Tom. That's what you do.
Yeah, you just literally you commit. Mate, you just jump through a window.
You commit Sudoku.
You just send Facebook a bill. Like Glazier's bill.
Zuckerberg, I broke my arm.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's another game that I would love to see Hugh play because he's a big shite bag. I know we'll never get him to play it, but maybe one day, you know.
I mean, it only took us like how many months just to get him to stream one game? I mean,
yeah, and he's not even completed any.
Motherfucker. I picked Yakuza and I was like 40 hours into that fucking game. And I was like,
why am I doing this?
I haven't picked that up actually since.
Oh man,
I'm palate cleansing, Dom. Palate cleansing.
He's watching Below Deck,
boats.
mate.
He's watching boats.
I'll get back to it eventually.
See, since we're talking about boats, Hugh, what's a pirate's favourite letter?
C.
Yeah, I've ruined your joke. You've said this before, Hamish. You said it on one of the podcasts.
Oh man,
this podcast we're recording has had the most awkward pauses ever.
I mean, I was going to cut that down, but now I might need to leave it.
Earlier on, I think we were sitting and I think we were waiting on one of us to talk, and it was just silent. So like 7 seconds.
I think you'll find I was waiting for you guys to ask me what I'd been watching, but you guys are rude and didn't ask me for a long time until Dom had to chime in.
Yeah, it was a pregnancy pause, they call it. Phew.
Oh, before the joke speaks.
Was that supposed to be funny?
Yes.
I think he was waiting for me to speak, so that I was the joke.
Ah, I get it.
Anyway, what I was trying to get to there, which was absolutely ruined, thanks Hugh, was Season 2 has started in Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves is now one of those games where you get like a pass, a pirate pass, I don't know what they call it.
A pirate pass? I didn't know they were doing it in seasons now. Like, that's very strange.
Well, have they added like excitement to the game?
Well, there's been a lot of new content like consistently from the start. Hugh, you're just not a good pirate.
I'm a terrible pirate. See, and it involves teamwork. I'm like, I'm going to destroy the ship. Remember that?
I remember.
that stream where I was like, how can I
ruin everyone's day? I'm going to kill everybody.
Like 4.5 hours of work to like get this fucking...
The funniest part was like, I didn't even realise at the time you were streaming on our Twitch, and, you know, we just basically kind of turned around when we were handing in the loot and the ship was on fire, and it wasn't until later on when I looked at the video and you literally said, how can I ruin this for everyone? Dick.
Yes.
Worst guy.
How am I the worst guy? I'm the best guy.
That's what the worst guy always says, that I'm the best guy.
Look, if it's a choice between us three, I'm the obvious best guy.
You say that's all you want, mate.
You know what? Do you want to put that up to vote on Instagram? We'll see who the best guy is, Hugh, if you really want to get that petty. And you're not allowed to have Sinead vote for you.
Why not?
Because she would vote for me.
I was going to say, she wouldn't vote for you anyway, Hugh.
She always says I've got to stop being mean to Dom. She always like, stop being mean to Dom. She never says that about Hamish, though.
Because I deserve it. Dom's a nice guy, but, you know, I deserve everything coming my way.
So, is there any other updates on the Resident Evil, man?
We're way past that, mate.
Oh, shit, sorry. I meant to say Sea of Thieves there. Sorry. Sea of Thieves Season 2.
I said boring Sea of Thieves.
No, it's like you derailed it, motherfucker. Alright, so they've made it into a Season 2, and it's been out for a couple of years now.
Oh, it's been out for a while, yeah.
So what are they bringing to it? They've not got like a battle pass where you accumulate things over days of logging in and that, do they?
Yeah, well, that's what the Season 2 is. This is the Season 2 pass thing.
Right, okay.
But there's also, like, you know, different challenges and shit. And I don't know, I mean, I enjoyed the game. It was good fun. It was a beautiful looking game, but it's definitely one that you need to play with friends, and not a lot of my friends like it.
Have you tried it on the Series X then?
No, I've not actually tried it in a while. But
how you enjoying next gen life, Hamish?
It's alright, isn't it? It's just...
Undertale looked 4K.
Oh yeah, no, it looked amazing, mate. Yeah, I've really not played any games that have kind of pushed it, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, the new Resi will definitely do that for you. Definitely.
Hamish wants all of those pictures, all those pixels on Lady What's her name? Demescrew, something like that? I don't know her name.
She big, she thick.
Oh, that big titty zombie lady.
Yeah.
Yeah. I take it you guys have seen the Resident Evil trailer? Or yes. Village?
Village? Yes. They know the internet's thirsty, don't they? They're dying of thirst. They are in that desert, they are parched, they are waiting.
Full of simps like you.
Like, I'm not going to lie, I'm not a massive Resident Evil fan, but when I saw that trailer, I was like, whoa.
Hey.
What's this new direction Resident Evil's went on?
I like how when we were just talking about her, you pretended to not know her name.
It's Lady...
He's doing it again.
Is it I've only read it. Is it Dimitrescu?
I have no idea, mate. Big titty...
Something like that.
Monster lady. That's...
Yeah. Monster Mash. We'll call her Monster Mash.
Big titty monster lady.
Yeah, it looks quite good, actually. I'm not a massive fan of the Resident Evil series. I think, Dom, you're probably the biggest Resident Evil fan among us. Mm-hmm. But I think I'm going to get this. It's out fairly soon as well. May, so it's something to look forward to.
PlayStation owners are getting a couple of demos free as well. In the next couple of days, on the 18th, they're dropping like an 8-hour demo where you get to play The Village. And then next week, it's weird. The week after that, they're doing another 8-hour demo. It's like such a weird Capcom way of doing things.
Yeah.
But they've said like they've given out the output resolutions and the frame rates that are going to get from these games. It all looks pretty cool. If you're wanting to play it in 4K in HDR,
it does look pretty cool. Yeah, definitely.
Very cool. I played the demo that came out a few months ago, where it was just you walking around the manor.
Yeah.
Like even then, I was like, this looks beautiful. This looks like it's had a lot of time in the oven, which is great.
Is it still in first person?
Still in first person. You're playing Ethan again from Resident Evil 7.
Right. Okay.
So they're continuing that direction, I think, with the mainline series, and they're just remaking all the old ones. They're up to Resident Evil 4, but again, I think the rumours of the remake of Resident Evil 4 might just be for the Oculus 2, so that would kind of make sense.
But do you think this will come to VR?
Yeah, I would think this would.
I don't see why not.
Yeah, I would say maybe it'll be a free upgrade for when the PlayStation 5 releases their VR.
Here you go, Hugh, you can get those big titties right in your face.
I would say it's a great sort of... It feels like what they're trying to do is a Resident Evil 4 engine on a Resident Evil 4 system on a Resident Evil 7 engine. because it's got like your customization. They're bringing the mercenaries mode into it as well, which is a lot of fun. But you're doing that in first person. I don't think that's a brand new thing. I don't remember doing mercenary mode in Resident Evil 7. But yeah, it looks like it's a lot of fun. They had like a whole showcase for it, so I think they've got like their fan base. They've done their fan base well for this game. They also said they were releasing like a Netflix movie, or a CG Leon and Claire movie. It was a couple of years after Resident Evil 4.
Okay.
But I'm like, the last couple of CG ones that they've done have been kind of shit. So, and then I'm like, oh, don't worry, we've got the live action Resident Evil movies too. Oh, they're kind of shit as well. So.
Yeah.
There was like 2 or 3 in the middle that weren't actually shit. They were actually like good horror.
That's just because after the first couple, you put your standards way down.
Way down. Yeah, you're
It's like,
desensitized by the bad acting and Alice being just OP.
Yeah, she became like a zombie killer, like it couldn't die.
Yeah, and then she's like, oh, and then they cloned her, then they killed all the clones. It's a mess. It was a fucking mess.
Lots of Alice's.
Yeah.
Talking about movies, have you heard about the Chadwick Boseman documentary, Portrait of an Artist?
No.
So
I've heard of it, but no, I didn't know if there's any more news out about it.
Well, it's out now, I believe, on Netflix. But the thing is, it's only out for like 30 days, and then it's getting taken off. So
why?
I don't know. I don't run Netflix, Hugh. If I did, I wouldn't be doing this shitty podcast.
Wow. It may be an exclusive run that Netflix acquired for it, because it might have been coming out in the cinema, and they're just like, we'll just take it. Because
that makes sense.
Netflix are getting. I think Netflix are getting quite desperate to keep people's subscriptions up because of all these new services that are coming through, so they're just trying anything. It feels like
it could be
we're in a quite a weird place where streaming services are like they're buying up all these old things, or they're taking back what that's owed to them, so then they can put it on their own service, or they're trying to revive or rebrand or remake old properties rather than try to do something new, which is a bit sad. Like, obviously, we were talking about the last time with Sony tried to do like Last of Us again, and you're like, why? But then they've also got a TV show coming out based on the first game that they're trying to rebrand. It's like, can we not just get something maybe a wee bit more? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, like, I know Netflix were saying, but Netflix have got like a good catalogue of stuff that they made themselves, but they don't put enough money into it, or they cancel after a couple of seasons. I mean, I know that Castlevania's coming back, and I think that's the last season of that. Yeah, Castlevania's back, Hugh. I seen the shocked look in your face.
I heard that he's been trying to get Berserk.
Yes.
So hopefully, if Castlevania's finishing, it had a great run, great show. If he can get something like Berserk,
I thought he had it. I thought that was confirmed. That's coming.
No, I don't know who owns the rights to Berserk animation, because it just had 2 seasons in like 2016, 2017.
Did you watch any of them?
Yeah, I watched both. They were like, as a guy who loves Berserk, it was better than nothing. Like, the animation was trash and the sound effects were trash, but like, if that's all I'm going to get, I was like, I'm going to watch it.
I mean, it feels like it was like when we were back when teenagers and we were starved for anime or anything from like the East. We were just like, give us anything, we'll have this trash. Like Gundam Seed is like the one I always state. Is like, it was a show about Gundams, but they focus so much on these shitty characters that you just like, why the fuck did I watch? This had nothing to do with Gundams. But you were just like so desperate to see something that was like not what you see on TV all the time. You would take anything. So when it comes to, I do feel for Berserk fans as well, because you get a chapter a year. Generally, you're like,
man, I haven't caught up. Like, I'm taking it easy. I'm like I've got like 7 of the big deluxe books, and that's like 21 volumes, and I'm taking it slow because I know I catch up and then be like every other fucking simp waiting a year for every 3 pages of chapters. So it's such a good fucking property. It needs a better adaptation.
Yeah,
it needs a better game. It's had several games and they've all been kind of shitty.
Yeah.
Hamish, you would like Berserk?
Yeah, I think you will
have.
like it.
You've kept telling me this, and I'm yet to try it out, but I'll get there one day, eventually.
One day.
It doesn't really have all that anime bullshit that you hate.
Yeah, it's quite a.
It's not that, mate. I just, on principle, don't like anything that you recommend to me.
But see when Hamish, I'll recommend it to you. I think you should watch Berserk or read Berserk.
All right, okay, man. I will do. That sounds good too.
It's like, see Dom, when you told me about that show was amazing.
Invincible, Tropic Thunder, Berserk. That's what I'm talking about next week, guys, because I'll have watched and read it all.
Fuck you guys.
So tell me, did you guys see any of the Nintendo Indie World Showcase? The live stream they did?
18 months ago when it all came out for other consoles.
Oh shit, hot take by Hugh.
Don't make me start on Nintendo again.
Please.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to mute Hugh and Dom, let's have a one-on-one about this.
Yeah, again, to be fair, it's, stuff that we've already played or seen before, but it's not a bad thing. It isn't really. It's just nice to have it on a console that's portable. I mean, that's like the best way I would look at it.
Yeah.
I can't believe Fez wasn't on it. I was really shocked when that came out. I was like, oh, and I was like, they're still making Fez, or they're just rebranding Fez like the whole time. But yeah, I'm all for indie developers getting their games put onto other platforms, especially after what happened with Sony and the Vita, basically, taking everything away from stores, games that won't be able to get played anymore, because just like fuck it, we only gave you 2 weeks. So it's nice to see other companies, even though Nintendo have been known in the past to be dicks as well, but give indie developers a platform to sell their games to people that are willing to pay for them.
Yeah.
So was there anything that jumped out at you that you were like, fuck man, that looks like it's going to be good, or I forgot about that game, maybe I'll boot that up again?
The one that I found most intriguing, and I don't even know if this has been on anything else, I think it's definitely out now. It's called The Longing. Is that been out for a while?
It's been out on PC for a bit. That's the weird looking one, isn't it?
It's basically like this wee, I don't even know what you would call you.
He's a wee guy with a big nose and yellow eyes, like quite similar to Manos.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not quite as big as your nose, but yeah.
Almost.
But so this goes for like 400 days.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, like the king that you serve is going to sleep for 400 days, and you need to interact with this wee guy. But you can go to like the library and you can read full books and stuff like that, or you can literally just leave the game. Like it starts counting down from when you start. You can literally not touch your Switch or not play that game for 400 days, and then come back to it, and then you'll be like, oh, right, okay, the king's awake now. But it'll be different depending on if you've played it and you've interacted with a wee guy, or if you do things daily, it'll be different outcomes. I think that's a really cool concept. I can't really think of many other games that have done that. I know some games have internal clocks and stuff like that, but it's usually bullshit like Animal Crossing. Like, oh, where have you been? It's like none of your fucking business. Like,
how fucking dare you?
I've got a life. You're a stupid wee animal on an island. I've got shit to do. Like,
man, that got really fucking intense.
Yeah, sorry, I may have some issues with Animal Crossing. But that sounds like an interesting concept to me.
Sorry, Hugh?
.emu released like a sequel to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game.
Shredder's
Revenge?
Lettuce or something like that, yeah.
Shredder's Lettuce.
Shredded Lettuce, yeah. Shredder's Revenge, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And it's done by is it the same guys that did Sonic Mania, or it's some guys from Sonic Mania that helped out with it?
The Temu that did Streets of Rage 4 and tribute games. So.
Yeah, aye. So yeah. That looks like it would be fun.
I mean, it's a nice wee 4-player game, so it might be something fun to stream. And the art style on it looks proper arcadey Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle-y, but polished. It looks quite fun.
Yeah, I like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'll buy in with them on it, so I'll get it.
I shall buy it.
Yeah. Overall, not a dead exciting kind of event, to be honest. If you want to see more about it, I did put a wee post up on patchesin.com on our website.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. But overall, not
nothing. Mind blowing came out from it, which was like
What about the House of the Dead remake?
The what? Sorry.
The House of the Dead remake.
When did that come out?
I mean, yeah.
Come on, guys! You just love House of the Dead. It was up there with Time Crisis in the arcades.
No, don't go in that door. That's Resident Evil, isn't it?
No, I think it was just that House of the Dead 1 or 2 where like a pterodactyl comes down and eats somebody, and the guy's like, "No, go this way." Yeah. You're like, "Fuck."
Thank you for saving me. Yeah.
Who did they get to voice act these guys? Was it just someone like walking by the office?
Yeah. Here, you do. Come here. Yes, you need me to speak in English.
What are they using as the light gun?
It'll probably be the Joy-Cons if we're doing that. If it's on the Switch.
Is there a pointer on the Joy-Cons?
Yeah, you played Mario Odyssey, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, like see when you've got it's done like that. Yeah, it's got
accelerometers and shit, all that kind of things.
All that buzzwords.
Yeah.
Totally having a mind fuck. I was thinking like, how are they going to get a light gun game to work? And then I was like,
accelerometers and stuff like that.
Accelerometers is going to do it.
Yeah.
Fun.
But, yeah, I mean, it's again, I don't want to say that I wouldn't be interested in it, but they need to do something like the last couple of House of the Dead games they've done have all been to the arcade, and they haven't been great. I mean, when we were in Japan, they had one. Me and Jason played the immersive one where it was like the 4D smoke came out and stuff like that, and it was it was so shit. It was so bad, but we had fun because it's like, we're in a big box. Like,
I tried to scare Jason, man, and he just was not having it. He was in this like totally immersive, scary game, and then like I came like through the wee door and tried to scare him, and he was just like, "This isn't fun."
Hugh, you should know by now the only way to scare Jason is to get a similarly sized lizard to fight him in a city.
It's the rematch, bitch.
So I think that's all the news. Unless you guys have anything exciting.
Nah, the only other one that I could even think of talking about is the Genshin Impact has now got the update that's coming to PS5, like the PS5 version. But I don't know anyone that really plays it anymore. Again, I'd got that from my Fold just to test out the speed for it. Had a lot of fun playing it. And then after a while, I'm like, oh, this is microtransactions, the game. So I kind of dropped it quite hard. So to see it on consoles, kind of was like, really, how are they going to work that out? But it's big upgrades, big updates to the game that makes it run a lot smoother than you would get on the mobile. So yeah, apart from that, I don't think there's anything that's been jumping out as of late.
What about Codename X, Dom?
Codename X, what is that?
Codename X. It's a goddamn another Persona 5 spin-off, mate. It's a mobile game.
I've not heard of that.
It's a mobile game, but it's it's a Persona 5 game. Yeah.
I just saw Dom's like excitement just go from like 10 to 2. It was like so many noises.
I mean, apparently it's only coming to China so far, but these things you do usually spread.
Yeah, the usual. Yeah, maybe they'll have a wee look at it if it's or I can find a way to maybe look at it. But I've had a quick look at it and it's like, oh, is that getting a bit too Kingdom Heartsy?
That was something that I was expecting you to come up with, but
yeah, unfortunately, like I either missed it or I realised it was a mobile game and like, oh right, I'm not interested in that.
Delete from memory. What about you, Hugh? You heard anything exciting?
Not really. No, I'm trying my best to like stay out of the hype machine of this year because like buy too much shit. So
what about on your phone that you keep sitting looking at it and anything exciting going on there?
I was looking at the end of showcase.
Do you know?
Do
you know what? Like I've got another bit that Hugh would probably be interested in. That Fortnite will basically be the game of all games eventually because they brought Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn into the game.
That's it. That's the end of the podcast of this. As much as I love Horizon Zero Dawn, and I honestly do not interact with the Fortnite world at all. Like I don't like I played it once or twice on the Switch, and I was like, I'm not into this. You know me, I wasn't massively into Battle Royale stuff anyway, even when we played it. I don't. It doesn't attract me that I get to play as a character I liked in a different game.
Have you seen as well that Brie Larson has her own like skin and stuff like that on it now?
Yeah, she's
doesn't look like Brie Larson. It's some weird hedgehog-looking humanoid, leafy thing, but she plays it quite a lot. So they put in like a skin. I think it's based on, I don't know, her pets or some weird shit that she's into. But I just kind of read the headline because I was like, I don't like Fortnite, so I don't really care. And then I saw a picture of it. I mean, it's I don't know, it's based on something, but anyway, you can copy like Brie Larson's loadout and look like this. It's got like a hedgehog face, and it's like fur as leaves in it. I don't know, it's weird, man. It's like a fever dream, but it's, I don't know.
Do you play it? Do any of you play it?
I've played it once.
I played it a lot when it first came out, like years ago. See, Kev had got beta codes.
Yeah.
And he gave out to a few people. When we sat and played it, we had a lot of fun. And then the update happened to it where they made everything run at 60 frames per second. And it became like the biggest game ever. Yeah, and then after that, I kind of dropped out of it because it was like, I don't know, like, I think Kev got number one once. I got it once as well, but that's before they started doing the tech of like the building the walls everywhere, and then people became like stupidly good at it. Like, because before it was very PUBG, you know, anyone could get number one if you play it long enough, you know? It wasn't a case of like, oh, you need to be fucking excellent at the game. When me and Kev, who, like, you know, we were just dicking about playing it, could get number one, it's more of like, oh, you just survived, you just shot a lot, rather than these people that are, you know, esports, you know, as soon as you shoot at someone, walls start coming around them, you know?
That's the weird thing. Like, see, when you see highlight videos, because, you know, when you're scrolling through Facebook or whatever, you see these things, and then you get people that, as soon as one bullet flies near them, in like 0.4 seconds, they turn around and they build a whole fucking mansion, like the fucking replica of like Trump Tower, and it's like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, it's just shoot back.
They glide away, and it's like, it's more defensive just to build stuff than it is to, like, you know. But yeah, I kind of dropped out of it quite hard after like it became a bit. Maybe it's just because I'm like, I don't have time to be competitive against a bunch of kids.
You know what I loved about that story, Dom? Is how you slipped in that you got I mean, I got number one. You know, I got number one.
Aye, but then I made a point to say like it wasn't that impressive, like, because, you know, at the time
you're playing it down.
Yeah, you need to be modest, you know. I was like, well, you know, like, best in that whole game once.
The only time the only time that I was not modest about getting number one at something was at Tetris, because I played that fucking game for ages, and when I got number one, I was like, "Fuck you, Hugh." And you're like, "What did I do?"
To be fair, I wanted number one so bad at that. I think I got down to like third. I don't know, I can't remember. I dropped into like bottom 5 anyway, and just could not get that final, because I never really sent the pieces to anybody. I didn't really pay attention to that, but like that you have to, when you get down to that level, and like I just couldn't get my head around it, and I couldn't take that next step that Dom took.
Yeah.
So, to be fair, Dom, you're a much better man than me. You waited until you got first place to say "fuck you, Hugh." I say that all the time anyway.
That's good.
That's true, man. Every time he's just doing something, he's like, "Fuck you, I just made dinner." Okay, man.
Hey, man, not talked to you in ages. Miss you. Fuck you.
Just keeping that tension alive.
I kind of have you getting the wrong idea, thinking that we're friends, you know. So it's time, lads, for the questions.
Oh, some questions.
And if any patchlings are listening, we always love to hear your feedback. Not your feedback, because that's going to be bad, but we like to hear your questions and comments and stuff. And one of them was from the aforementioned very talented artist Angie, who, if you for some weird reason came into the podcast and then skipped right to the end just to get to the juicy good stuff, she redid all of our logos and stuff like that. Have a look on our socials and you can see all of that.
Yep, at angiesteak.graphic.
Thank you, Dom. So She asked, when is Drunk Mario Kart happening? The patchlings are waiting with bated breath.
Oh, that's a good question. Hugh, when is that happening?
As soon as we can get together in one place, it will happen.
Because we got that booth money sitting right there. Ready to go.
Mate, it's burning a hole in Hamish's forehead. Like it's...
That's fine. There's plenty of time for it to go.
Like, that money is just waiting there. That's the hard-earned Jeff Bezos money. So,
can one of you describe to the patchlings that may not know what's the Mario Kart drinking game? What's Drunk Mario Kart?
Right. So when we started Twitch, we didn't have any kind of plans, did we?
No.
We weren't going to be, fucking ninja.
Apart from global domination, I have no plans ever.
Shame, you can't tell me that yet. But we said,
money, then we get the global domination,
and then we get the bitches.
you can have them, Hamish. But like, we said, if we got any money, we'd just take it out and we'd have a great night together.
Yeah.
By that we meant Mario Kart.
Yep, separately, because we can't have a good night together.
Right, so we're going to go and get some alcohol, some food, some snacks, play Mario Kart together, and stream it live on Twitch, so that people can watch us get drunk and ruin any kind of good feeling people had towards us. So that's what we're going to do. And lockdown has kind of fucked all of those plans up. So we're going to try for.
No.
I think it's mid-May. We can. But we'll try and announce it a few weeks beforehand. We were going to maybe make it a charity stream as well. Where
I think we should.
Where we do like a 24-hour run or whatever to donate the money to charity. I did that a few years ago and it was a lot of fun. You guys were there with me.
Yeah, you did that for Macmillan, didn't you?
If you can put up with getting beat for 24 straight hours, Hugh, then I think that's a good idea.
Is it Rory that's really good at Mario Kart?
He's not invited though, so.
Right. So Jason's not invited either. You need to kick him out.
Anyone that's better than me is not invited.
Right. So
you then,
we'll probably ramp up the plans in the next few weeks. We'll take donations for games to be played, donations for things to be done on the stream and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All of it will go to charity. None of it goes to us, obviously.
Yeah.
Also, I mean,
thank you very much for the question there, Andrew.
Yeah, but on the side, Angie, like I've kind of been having my own drunk Mario Kart every night, just without Mario Kart or Hugh and Dom. So really in spirit, it's been happening a lot. So if that makes you feel any better,
keep the spirits there, Hamish.
Too much spirits.
So we also had another question from Side Questing Podcast, who you should definitely check out on Instagram. That's just their name, Side Questing Podcast. Really quite a well put together podcast. I have listened to them quite a bit, and they tackle some pretty interesting topics, quite fun. But they asked if you could remake any game, what would it be and why? So we're going to go to Dom first.
Oh, okay. I think we may have talked about like a rebranding or a revival of a game, and I said Prince of Persia. We ended up getting that HD re-release that got shit canned and put into we'll get back to that eventually. But I have another game that I think would be great. With the news of Square Enix going up on trying to become public, the Legacy of Kain games, I think would be a great show.
Oh man, they were good.
Yeah,
man, you've went a deep dive on that. I've not heard of that series in a long time.
Yeah, so Soul Reaver, just for Raziel, that was such a great concept to have. This new breed of vampire that was going to take over before Kain was like, "No, fuck you," ripped off his wings and sent him down to hell. And that was, oh, what a fucking game that was. That was
badass, wasn't it? And now that you describe that, I'm like, oh yeah, man, that was awesome.
Yeah. That's a game that I always remember on the PlayStation. Like, I remember getting the demo disc of it, buying the game because of it, and enjoying it. Like, you had the scarf over his face, and he would pull it off to suck in the souls, and he would change reality, and so much fun.
That's a Crystal Dynamics game, isn't it?
It's a Crystal Dynamics game. But
the people that made Tomb Raider.
Yeah, but it was Eidos or Eidos beforehand. Like, they had it, and then they obviously got bought over by Square. So I was thinking about that. I was thinking about that a lot, and it was trending on Twitter for a wee bit as well. Like, bring back Legacy of Kain, bring back Soul Reaver, and I was like, oh, do you know that's? Oh, I forgot how good those games are. Sure, the voice acting was terrible in the later games, but come on, it was the fucking 90s.
Yeah, par for the course. Shit voice acting, really.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like we all had to do our time there. Like my favorite bad voice acting is always Mega Man. I was like Mega Man, Mega Man. Like, the fuck is this trash?
yeah, it was like the worst take for Dr. Light, and he was like, Mega Man, do this. You're like, how the fuck did Capcom
just go?
Sounded like our first podcasts.
Definitely. I would love that to come back because, you know, it's been ages since vampires have been brought into sort of any sort of limelight. You know, Twilight did a lot of bad damage to like vampires being, you know, dark and killer. You know, Blade was the last thing that you could properly be like, yeah, vampires are badass. Twilight kind of killed that, made us all, you know.
Yeah, weird. I mean they're remaking Blade, so it's the perfect timing for that you know, bringing back the popularity of actual cool vampires.
Yeah,
nice one. What about you, Hugh?
Right, this one is a game I've played a lot. It's not FIFA.
I would like to remake FIFA 98 because that's the one that I won the most at. I won 7 of my games against 32 losses.
This is actually an N64, and it's Star Wars: Shadows of the Empire.
Oh,
do you remember this game?
I remember. Oh my god, man! I forgot all about that game.
Same, and then like I was kind of racking my brain, like what games did I put a lot of time into when I was younger, and like I completed that game when I was like 13, 14, and it was just really like fun. The main character in the ship is all derivatives of Han Solo and the Millennium Falcon.
Ham Solo.
Ham Solo. But like it was a good mixture of space shooting from like I think they used the same stuff as the Rogue Squadron games because you had Hoth, you had Planet Hoth. And then you had like third-person action shooting, which was actually fun. Like you had your blaster with different types of bolts and bullets and stuff like that, and you were shooting stormtroopers. Then at one point you had to fight a big squid thing in water. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Wow. Like I've not. Yeah. What was that game?
You're right, Dom.
Wow.
I've thought about playing it a lot in the last couple of years, but like. I don't want to mar that image in my head I've got at that fun time because the controls will be awful. Like that's why it needs a remake.
Yeah.
And
do you think the implementation of like new technology would make that game like like a classic?
Yeah, 100%. Like it was one of them first kind of third person over the shoulder shooters.
Mm-hmm.
So like it was obviously running through the same kind of issues that all first generation games have. So if you remade that today with all the constraints taken from it and with dual stick control and more experienced teams, like you're going to get a fucking good game there.
Yeah, like, and you don't have need to worry about LucasArts or that. Like
I think LucasArts are back, aren't they? Like they like Disney reopened the company to control Star Wars because EA did a fucking bang up job with it. So,
remember how EA were just like, yeah, see you Star Wars, like we do what the fuck we want with it, and Disney like, nah, hand it back.
Do you know what I heard about that as well? It was the CEO at the time signed that deal. The CEO of EA signed the deal, and then someone took over who was like, no, that's not the way we want to go, or something like it's too much money, we not enough returns or whatever. So like that's why they only released like, what was it, 3 games?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't many anyway.
Yeah, it was the two Battlefronts and Jedi Order, Fallen Order.
Yeah, and like Fallen Order was excellent. So I think that's why LucasArts is now in control again. So if they're in control again, hopefully they can look at the back catalogue. Like Republic Commando is another one I could have mentioned. I was actually thinking about streaming that.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
like it got re-released, didn't it?
Yeah, it got re-released on the Xbox Series X, and I was like, "Oh fucking hell!" I played that on the original Xbox, me and Jason, and it was a Halo clone, pretty much.
Basically.
And but it was a good Halo clone, and it was atmospheric, and the controls were excellent, and it was them at their best, and then that was like the golden era of Star Wars games, like that.
Yeah.
KOTOR 2, Republic Commando, Battlefronts, like and it. Then I don't know what happened after that, like the Disney thing.
Jedi Academy, like they had fucking banger after banger.
Yeah, as long as it wasn't after any of the films, like as long as it wasn't a film game, and you were fine.
Yeah, unless it was pod racing.
Hey, what a fucking shite game that is, man! I love
Pod
that game.
yeah, it's like it was jank, but it was fun jank.
Do you know I'd never ever remembered that the N64 version didn't have music?
Yeah, it was quiet.
Like in my head, I can hear the Star Wars music when I'm playing that. I'm like,
Man, just had like a tape player or a CD player of it.
Yeah.
Oh man, we definitely aged ourselves there by saying tape player and CD player.
Oh man, I I mentioned to my little sister, who's like 13 years younger than me, that I recorded a CD. Like I had I borrowed a CD and taped the CD onto a tape and recorded it onto a tape, and she was like, "Why?" And I was like, "Well, it was the only way I could get that CD."
Jesus.
But
what about yourself, Hamish, man?
Remake Cyberpunk without all the fucking bugs and shit. No, I'm kidding. Don't. I'm sorry, I've forsaken you, Cyberpunk.
I saw that joke on Twitter today, actually.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah, I did.
Is it at patches in?
No. I'm just saying, Hamish, that's derivative.
You know what? It's the worst thing as well. Like, by the time this gets released, it won't even be today. I'll be days old. I think I would probably remake Time Splitters 2.
What a shout that is.
That's I just have so many good memories of this game. Like, it was a game that me and my brother played like a lot, even after the campaign and stuff like that. It had a level editor, and not so much me. I don't have patience for making things like that, but my brother made some cracking levels. He made this one. There's like a infected mode, which is basically that kind of zombie mode.
Yeah.
You one of you starts off infected, or one of the AI would start off infected, and it's just like green flames, and then
just run about.
Infects people basically. But he made this level, and it was like 8 floors high. It was like this kind of this apartment block basically, and you just had to kind of run around in circles. But it got so tense, like you had like, so it'd be like me, him, and then they fill the rest of the room with AI, and they would obviously all end up infected, and it was fucking scary as fuck, man. You'd properly be shitting yourself like, oh god, there's one there, I need to jump off it. It was honestly so much fun, and it just overall it was a great shooter, a great game, really polished, and there's been talks of things, people remaking it and stuff like that, well, a next installment in it and stuff like that, but so far there's not been anything. I don't know if you've heard that the Homefront, the Revolution, that game,
yeah,
apparently like the full game, Time Splitters 2, is in that in 4K. There's a bit that you go to and there's like a wee arcade machine, and up until recently, basically you would play it and then you could play the first 2 levels, and that was it. And then it was on Twitter, someone tweeted the developer about it, like, is there any Easter eggs in Homefront that people don't know? And he was like, there's a code that you can actually use to unlock the entire Time Splitters 2 game, but that's about it. And they were like, well, come on, what's the code? And I was like, I don't know, I wrote it down somewhere.
I can't remember.
I told it to one person on Discord, who then leaked it. Everyone thought he was lying, and they banned him from the server. So it was kind of like lost for ages. And then eventually, after that, someone tweeted him like, "Oh, is it this code?" And that was actually it. So it's just recently been unlocked. So
you should stream that, mate.
Yeah, maybe I need to get Homefront and fucking play that.
Do you know why Time Splitters 2 was so good?
Why was it so good?
Do you know what else that team made? That team was from Rare. They left Rare during the production of Perfect Dark.
Oh.
So that was the team that made most of Perfect Dark and GoldenEye.
Oh,
So like
man.
that's why that game was so good. And then I think that team was like Free Radicals or something they were called. I'm not 100% on the name, but like I think
Well, that was an EDOS game as well, was it not? Like
Yeah.
They left Rare during Perfect Dark. I'm not sure why. Like I think there was a big thing at Rare at the time, and they made their own company. They made Time Splitters.
Yeah, I think it was to do with like the Nintendo sort of like licenses and stuff. It may have been to do with that.
Nintendo were bastardy. They've
Yeah.
always been bastardy. But that team went on to become Crytek UK or something like that, and they made Homefront.
that's cool, man.
That's so it all sticks together.
I love shit like that. I love wee Easter eggs like that.
Yeah.
Not so much when even the developers fucking forget them.
A lot of fun.
The Arkham games. What was the first
Yeah.
one? Arkham Asylum, and then there was Arkham City. There was an Easter egg in Arkham Asylum for Arkham City that
Yep.
nobody found until like, after Arkham City was out.
Yeah.
And you just had to put the wee bat gel in a certain place, blow up a wall, and then you would see all the art for it and stuff like that.
They show you how they build the city and what they were going to make Arkham City into.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's like pretty sweet.
I love that kind of stuff. That did cool, I think. But
Yeah. Need more Easter eggs like that.
So Time Splitters 2 is your.
that's the one I would
Remake?
definitely remake. Yeah, because I mean, honestly, I think I would even play it now, but I'm too lazy to hook up an old machine.
Well,
Isn't it-
look, if you get Homefront then, see and let us know what that happens.
I think that's like 99 pence. So
Yeah, I may actually
I-
just not even stream Homefront. I'll gonna just maybe get to that bit in Homefront where I can play it and
And just
stream
play it.
Time Splitters technically.
quickly, is there a game that you an older game that you want to play but can't be bothered with the hassle of playing an old game?
Probably the Darkness series, and it's only because I remember loving that game, but then you went back and played it and told me the controls were just fucking garbage.
They are, mate. That
Yeah.
made me so sad.
But I loved those games, man. They were brilliant.
Yeah.
So if they were like even updated, that would be great. But
The
after you
second
tell
one's
me
got
that,
better
yeah.
controls.
Yeah.
The second one has better controls, but the first one came out in 2007 or something like that, and it's got it's not got the dual stick controls. The first person shooter basic controls that everyone has now.
Yeah.
It's got like its own version. It's not very good.
Oh.
I love the Darkness games as well.
If there was any that I could think about, the NBA Jam series.
Oh,
Like
right, okay.
that would be like because you could emulate them quite easily now, but to have like a more up to date version of that would be fun. But at the same time, like you can't be bothered setting up your old Mega Drive to do all that if you want to get the real experience, or maybe you know what I mean. So yeah,
Did I got that NBA Playground series or something like that?
I've got that on the Switch. It's not very
Nah,
good.
it's not the same.
Nah, definitely not. I bought it on that reason, going, oh, maybe it'll be like NBA Jam. It's not NBA Jam.
Alright, okay. I
Yeah.
never played the NBA Jam. I never had a Mega Drive when I was younger. That's why, though.
Yeah,
well-
NBA Jam was the shit.
What about you, Hugh?
Metal Gear Solid.
You could never
I-
be bothered setting that up.
It's not that I can never. It's not just about setting it up. It's about it's so old and clunky now that I don't think I would have the experience that people had.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
no,
I
that
don't-
makes
I
sense.
don't- I've played 2, I've played 3, I haven't played 4, and I've played 5, but I've never went back and played the first one because I'm always like, oh, I'll get like an hour into it and I'll just hate the controls and just put it down.
Yeah.
It's one of those
Uh,
things you had to be there, kind of thing.
That's why I was kind of looking at you, Dom, and going, "Lend us that fucking GameCube remake." I know they kind of remade it already, but they didn't actually remake it because it wasn't Kojima that made the remake.
The Twin Snakes.
Twin Snakes. So I was kind of thinking about playing that version, but even that's fucking 20-something years old now, and it'll be antiquated as well. And
Yeah.
it's not about slagging this game. It's still probably a great game, but I just don't think I'll have the same like experience that people say you have playing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like anything. Like, I remember watching The Exorcist. Me and my brother watched it, and this was obviously years and years after it came out. And my parents would tell me, like, oh, back in the day when this came out, this was scary. People didn't know how they did these effects and stuff like that. But we watched it, and this wasn't even recently. Obviously, I was young, which was a long time ago before any of you say it, right? But we were like laughing at it, you know what I mean? And it just shows you like some things just don't age well, and you just can't appreciate them unless you're there at the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, thanks for that question, though, guys. Like, I know my question kind of came off of that, but like it kind of bounced because I was thinking about it, and I was like, "There's games that I haven't played that I want remade, just so that I can enjoy them in a modern way." Like,
yeah,
I want Metal Gear Solid remade.
Yeah,
selfishly.
I don't see why they don't do it as well. It'll make so much money.
That's true. Yeah, I don't understand why not, but Konami going to Konami.
Yeah, I don't know if Sony own the rights to the first one or in, but
so thanks very much, Side Questing Podcast.
Yes, thank you very much, Side Questing Podcast, for that question. Thank you, Angie, as well, for the question. We always do like something to talk about that isn't, our usual load of crap, to be honest. So anyone else listening, feel free to get in touch. We do enjoy it. But that, unfortunately, guys, brings us to the end of our episode this week.
Oh.
Yeah. Have you had a good time, Hugh?
I had a good time, Hugh. Did you? Oh, look at that. We're both asking Hugh had a good time because he looks like a miserable fuck right now.
Yeah, he always does.
I have had a good time, but I'm just thinking what I'm going to do after this now. Going to have to like detox from fucking hanging out with you still.
Are you going to be watching more boat stuff?
No.
Yes.
I'm actually thinking that we're going to. I think Sinead goes to bed soon, and I might just sit and watch some Invincible before I go to bed.
Let us know how you think about it, man. How you think about it? How you feel about it?
How I feel about it next week on next exciting episode of Patches and Podcast.
Yeah.
What's that a reference to, Hamish?
I don't know. I'm sure the names came up somewhere, but
Batman.
All right, no. I thought you were making a joke because that's our podcast, mate.
No, like you used to say at the end of Dragon Ball Z on the next exciting
I
episode
don't care. I
of
don't know. Don't care.
Why is Dom hiding behind his mic?
Because
I'm scared. I'm scared when Daddy fights.
with Daddy and other Daddy. Have you had a good time on this podcast, Tom?
I've had a fantastic time. Thanks very much for the laughs, guys. It's always a blast talking to you guys.
Yeah, it's been fine. It's all right.
What about you, Hamish? Have you had a good time with the daddies?
I mean, who's daddies here? Are we all daddies?
We're all daddies, I guess.
This feels like it's bordering into erotic territory, and I'm not really.
Hugh, put your foot down.
I always have a good time. Not anything to do with talking to you guys, but I usually drink when I do these podcasts, so
just this buzz.
Yeah, so it's been fantastic for me. Look forward to us next week. Thank you very much for tuning in, Patchlings, and we will see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.